Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to FPOP channel. Today I will start a new series. Also, I will keep doing the learning Age of Empires 2 Return of Rome, but I also believe that a regular Age of Empires 2 Definitive Edition is actually pretty good, especially because learning with a player that is actually learning the game from the basics is very good. Right now I consider myself an 1000 ELO player, probably a little bit lower than that. But still,
Salve.
I believe that I'm improving day by day. In this particular game, I believe that you have some quality of watching it. Also, this is the mod that I use. I think I'm gonna be honest, it looks cute for me, and actually it makes the game run smoother for me. I think it's bearable. I like it. There is some harmony. The trees are also better, especially with the grid. I believe it's better than the small tree mods that we usually have. It's Age of Empires 1 looks, but still, I guess it's good. I like the harmony of it. But let's do it. I probably will fast forward. Also, let's appreciate this 200 IQ house placement. That's something that you not see on any other game around. So yeah, let's just ignore what I did here. I'm playing as Romans, and my opponent on ranked ladder is Gonzo, played as Portuguese. And he's a quite good player, and actually he managed to do an early game better than me. Much better, by the way. As you can see, he's doing fine. Now I'm getting my sheep, my turkey. And doing an exploration here. Overall, I think that this first part, the initial seconds, is good. I see my first boar right here. The beginning is pretty boring.
Yes.
Yeah, he's a very well educated player.
Impera.
And now we started.
Salve.
And gonna grab the boar. And then we keep going. So I first go for the boar instead of going for the wood. Well, I believe that maybe going for the wood would be the correct build order. There's a long time that I don't play the interactive build orders. But overall, I do a decent start. But my reaction response, it's very bad. So we'll keep fast forward. Let's keep going. Now for me, I was kind of good exploration, could be much better. My ally did a much better job regarding it. At least I got everything that was useful around. One sheep was missing. Yeah. Another thing that should be improved. I believe that this so far would be a game that this opponent would be the correct one to usually win. Maybe in a repetition of this map in 5 times, he would win most of the times. But he would do a very, very bad mistake, in my opinion, that will cost him the game. And that it will be... There will be things that I will do correctly in my part. But for his part, he had his game on his hand. It was everything going sweet for him. But let's come back. 21 and 10 age up. And let's look for him. It's roughly the same. Age up with 20, but he already got a barracks up. And now I'm still trying my best to get my barracks as well. You get a defensive one, but he will be able to actually make very good use of his barrack as a Portuguese player. So I try to do defensive one as well, especially my berries. I really was scared about losing it. There we go. I got the militia, and yeah, that's the thing. He was getting his militia up and running much earlier than me, and then he can go with 3 of them very easily. And he's probably already pay attention on getting his men-at-arms upgrade on. So that's pretty bad for me. I should have definitely I must fix and
Prontos.
get my stuff right in the beginning.
Eus.
Because this is very bad. I always get in a very bad situation. I'm always being the passive one, so the players are always getting the initiative. That's pretty bad, but let's keep doing. That's one of the mistakes that you definitely should avoid. So I try to be smart with quick walling, but I don't have the skills yet for quick walling. So there is a plate of things that you should consider. Maybe try to, instead of focusing on this very top-notch things that very experienced players do, you can try to do. Quick walling can be a very good resource, but in this situation, I don't think that they would be any good when you have 3 Minotaurs.
Impera.
There are other things that I should consider. Getting
Salve.
my Minotaurs up and running, along with calling my scout cavalry back to my home would be the better. But here it was a big failure, so don't do that I did. Or if you do, try to do correctly at least. Actually, I think that even another house, or maybe actually the palisades here, would be much better. Here would be a very defensive position, probably a palisade gate here and another palisade wall here. They should have been built. That would protect my berries and would give a place here in my town center where if they would cross the line here, they would be fired. And also my scout cavalry should have returned.
Salve.
So yeah, that would be so pathetic. Look at this. That what happens when you don't have the reflexes for, yeah. I could get the scout cavalry, but that's so much idle time. So my beginning, now it's bad. I was carrying on tracks, but now it's simply so bad. I don't have a villager being created here. Only 3 Minotaurs, or making me lose a lot of resources. That's so bad, so pathetic. And now I can actually finish my quick walling. Yeah. So after look at this. That's the next level of crap right here. Oh gosh. So as you can see, that's a disaster already. So at this point I was considering about really resigning. I still have militia, and he did not develop his upgrades yet. But he's already doing a blacksmith. So that's pretty bad, and I was very concerned that he would connect the rest of this attack with scout cavalry, but probably not. So that's it, and yeah, that's a very bad start, very bad. But now that's really where things I can also comment what was happening here with my opponent. So even though he was doing very well and he has a good eco management, I said that there is some resources floating around and he could easily get a second archer range. That would be good for Portuguese players. They get a discount for gold units. So that would be a very good move, and he did not do. He's not creating enough production buildings, and he has population space. He has a very good economy for that. But he's not doing it. So I could advance here and bother his economy since I saw the disaster that was going with me. So I need to do any kind of attack, any kind of damage in order to destabilize him. But things will not be that great for me. But that was a legit try. So there we see. That's good, but I think I could get at least one of these archers with my scout cavalry early. And just by making them run around and not losing my other 2 Minotaurs would be a better trade for me, maybe. And going here would actually nullify his lumber camp here. He'd probably return here, but that would be a big walk. So as I was trying to get back in the game, I was really 3 villagers behind. The scores reveal everything that you need to know, so at this point, if people were betting in this game, Gonzo would get really all the bets on his side. And for him, he's still piling up a bunch of wood that he could use and maybe build a market. Now he's getting another archer range. So very good, he's completing a wall. And for me, I'm trying to do some kind of damage. Any kind for me, would be a victory. He already did 1 upgrade for range, and now he's going to the castle age. So wait, yeah, he's going to the castle age, and he's almost halfway there. And castle age is in no sight for me. So let's take a quick glance as what I was thinking here. So maybe a good thing that I did here is that I was so much bad that I was imagining that he was going to the castle age, because there was a drop on his score, so I could read this part of the game. And I was thinking, well, I will try to give some aggression to him in the field age, because at this point I was so desperate that I need to try something.
Salve. Impera.
And I knew that he had archery range, and I actually 2 archery ranges and a bunch of archery units. So that was a good procedure to try to advance. Yet I still lacking enough manpower to be more meaningful here. He's already getting his knights coming on putting a town center. So that's very good. He's doing everything right here. I don't know why, but he seems to be forgetting about his armor upgrades. He definitely could get more armor upgrades. He had the food for it. He could get another stable earlier. Probably more on wood would be better for him instead of so much in gold. But he was doing pretty fine, and I was literally battling for my life. And here would be pretty bad, so I got vanquished here. The GG was very real for me. Somehow I was getting a good eco distribution, and I was accumulating resources, so my score was getting high again. And I knew that if there was any chance for me, it would be in the castle age. So this villager is almost done. And after that, boom. Castle age coming. But now in a very bad situation, I think that's where things start to be a little bit better for me. So I got a base which is now a proper wallet, so I feel more confident. There's a bunch of holes, but it's not something that I would feel a bigger risk of some scouts of bothering me. So in closing the gaps, it's getting decent. My eco is now in a better management. There's a bunch of food, and I probably should have changed it. A bit of that could have gone for the gold. Especially what I did with gold, that I did a lot of bad for me. I could put this house up here, this other house here, stable here. But still, that was decent enough. It wasn't killing my game, and now I'm doing the upgrades. I will have the bloodlines, I will have the force armor upgrade for cavalry. And I know that my destiny now is to get some knights, and along with him, he's getting archers and knights. And I was also imagining that he would get this. With so much archer range on the knights, for Portuguese players, that's something that I can see that it's very good. So with my limited knowledge about Age of Empires, I could actually develop a counter strategy that would be effective. So it requires as well then experiment. So a lot of wood and food would be very, very important for me to build up a reaction. And now we are kind of close, but he's booming better than me. He's getting 2 town centers while I'm still trying to boom with 1 town center. That's definitely not enough, but I'm trying to make my best. And another thing that is a big advantage for me is that Romans, since they get the double of the effects of their armor infantry upgrades, this is something that I would use in my advantage. So as you guys can see, there was a little bit of skirmish here. I lost a knight. I could have avoided it, certainly, but he was analyzing about coming here, and I put this quick wall here, so that was a good move for me, because if he dived here, I don't know what I could have done. Maybe I would survive with my town center, but that would be chaos. And he wasn't aware that this could be a good matchup for him. So I still not able to get my pikeman upgrade, but I'm trying to make my barracks running. And I'm gonna get the other armor upgrade, and that'll be very good. Yeah, Spearman will get a very good armor, and he's trying to get some cavalry as well. So since I can't build knights constantly, I'm getting the scout cavalry. I'm planning on the light cavalry. And now I'm very confused. What I do? Do I try to sell my wood for and buy some stone? What I do? So with this, there was a little bit confusion for my part, but I'm trying to get things running and try to get production buildings and also removing some extra villagers. I'm trying to win my bad habits, but that's so far. I think okay, at least now I have a small chance, but I have a chance. The score is almost 4k for Gonzo. Now he just reached 4k, so that's pretty big. He has a total advantage, and I could see by this, he was either booming, but he could also be doing another thing that I later realized, that he was getting a lot of resources that he was not reinvesting. So he could put easily more production buildings. He was walling. He is very good with that, so he could do a very good space for his base. But the lack of production buildings, it's a problem for him. So he'll do some forward, he could go to this stable, it could be a little bit back, and along with that, he could try to get more barracks in order to get pikemen and get a very good arm composition. Right now, I get the arm of pikemen finally, but he gets his crossbowman, and he could get at least one extra archer range as well. So that's a big problem for him. That's one of the things that I read avoiding, is that if I got resources, I should use them. And if I don't know what to do, it means that I probably did bad and I must utilize the market. Early on, it pays a lot to utilize the market when you do these small mistakes in the game. Don't get the resource that you need. Right now, I'm trying to boon as fast as possible, and now with the wheelbarrow. After the wheelbarrow, I got the handcart, so I'll get the handcart after the villager actually. And I know that now scorpions are better, so I will also try to get scorpions because that's one of the strongest points that you have when you play Romans. So definitely I should try to get the siege workshop running.
Salve.
These guys are trying to make another wall with houses here, so there is a bit of desperation here, I'm not gonna lie. But that's a good mass of pikemen and reasonable size of cavalry, the light cavalry mixed with the knights. And now I'll get some siege units coming. So in regards to aggression, I was capitalizing better on the resource that I had. So that's a good aspect, and that's something that I will change, because that's a very, very bad score for me. That's almost 700 points behind him. But let's see. That's the moment that I believe that I will make him to dive in me, because I was afraid by what was coming, and then I couldn't see yet that there was a siege workshop there. And now I say, well, I know that there is cavalry coming, but what else he has, what can he do? And now I see that there is mangonel, so I know, okay, it's time to dive in. If I lose, I lose. If I don't, and now you see, that's great. I could bait this mangonel to go after my pikeman and get the minimum of losses. And with this, I still have some, I put some pikemen here. That was bad. I could get managing and probably put some cavalry against the mangonel. That would be better. But all my pikemen against the knights. But still, that was good. And I could get the scorpions. Scorpions for the Romans are really good. They can shoot very well. So that's a very good use. They're getting a lot of value. That was a perfect shot. That was delicious. That was the equivalent of a mangonel shot, but by Scorpion. So that was good, and with this, I could fight back. I say, okay, so I could fend off. He still has a lot of resources in the bank, by what I could judge, and he's probably booming like crazy. But now it's my time, and now I could get another town center, so I can see a chance of reaction now. So right now I try to advance, but then I saw that there was a town center, and he had enough units to try to fight back. Now I'm trying to chase his units back to his base. Now I knew that even though I had these scorpions, I probably would need something better against him. And now I'm trying to do a mixing of units. I'm very, at this point, I'm trying to get as much as resources being utilized. I also getting some stone because I wanna boon, and now again, very bad for my part. I could put these at least 4 or 5 stone miners into wood because I was needing a lot of wood. And also wood upgrade, I believe that I did not make the wood upgrade from the castle age yet, so that's a very bad sign. Not sure if I did the other mill upgrade, maybe yes. I did the hand card, so my villagers are working very well. So now I'm finally catching up in the economy, but that's not enough, and I know that's not enough. Here, I had no idea, but I had the presentiment that he would try to advance with castle. He probably has to resource that. And now, since he got Imperial, I knew that things would start to get bad for me. So with this, there was another battle here. So I tried to run around with my Rens, which was very bad for me. And he saw that, so he started to immediately attack the battering Rens. But at the same time, it was very fortunate for me because I keep it investing in pikemen and also in cavalry. And that was a good combination. For the Portuguese, they probably would try to get more gold units as the monk and also siege units. So I tried to get along with my scorpions, the mangonels, and the battering rams. Because I knew that I needed something to soak up the damage and maybe to try to get these buildings down. And I was imagining this castle, but after that, I just went crazy because you guys see, I tried to get battering runs as a crazy. Maybe that wasn't correct. I should have invested more, maybe a bit in battering runs, but get more mangonels. Now I see he's reacting with organ guns, and the hand cannoneers will certainly come. That's another unit that it's always surely coming when you're facing Portuguese. So now, that was confusing. That was another bad move to get my scorpions to get free damage over there. But now I get a very lucky because I can kill his monk, which is very good. And now I get a bunch of battering runs. And now it's where I imagined, okay, he's 1 age ahead of me. Now the score, it's already favoring him once again. He's very, very ahead for me. He's getting conscription, it's very important, but look at this. That's a mistake. That's the entire reason of this video. He could win easily. He could just, walk in, drop more castles, even defensive castles would thwart my efforts here. Castles along with maybe some archer range, extra ones where he could put some skirmishers, or also even any trash unit to follow his army would be enough, and he had more than enough. You could even put 1 or 2 castles and maybe sell the rest of the stone. It would be a GG for me. But now see, he can't really capitalize, and now I advance with the battering rams, and it ended up being a good idea. He had the resources to actually fend off this. With a good construction of an extra castle, I believe that it would be done. Along with that, I'm trying to advance with scorpions here, and that is a blind advance, I must say. But that's what ends up being a good idea. I keep the scorpion here, so he's afraid of advancing with his hand cannoneers. For some reason, he did not build enough knights. He had a very good position. If he had invested, he could get cavaliers and it would be in trouble. But he seems to be very into hand cannoneers. And now the battering runs are good to soak up the damage. They are doing some very hardcore damage here against me. I try to get the scorpions running. Yeah, that's pretty good. And at least for me, I was trying to do something, and now I'm catching up with the boom because I got 4 town centers running. I'm branching out, and it's still very powerful in the Castle Age. So now I'm not managing properly my units. That was the last game of the day for me. It was a 4 losing streak for me, and that's a very interesting thing because somehow he loses with so much resources. That's the reason of the video. So that's the #1 mistake that I used to do. I was sitting sometimes with a lot of resources in the bank and I wasn't doing anything with them. I wasn't reinvesting for booming. Could get, how many town centers he got? 4? He could get maybe 1 or 2 extra town centers to speed up his economy. At least another 1. That would be a little bit too much, but still that would be something that he could use so many resources. Not enough construction buildings, and he's very into hand cannoneers. So I also suspect that he's not really good yet with his upkeys. And now that's so ridiculous because I have a bunch of battering runs. That would be a very easy target for Nightline. Somehow he's not getting it, and now he's paying the price because my battering runs are advancing. I will be able to take down his infrastructure. He does not have enough. Now he's blocking my battering run with the villager, which is pretty funny. And now I can advance with my cavalry, and while they are targeting the battering runs, I can kill with my cavalry units, which is very good. And now I'm in a more dominant position. I still could have potentially put another town center maybe, or even another construction building, but now I'm using better. I'm still making this mistake because somehow I started to get a lot of gold and I wasn't paying enough attention. There was no reason for me to keep so much gold. So maybe I could get more stone and try to advance with the castle here. That would be much better, but I did not do that. And here I was advancing very well. I could kill his infrastructure and pushing towards his base. And now he gives the GG. And he killed it. Really, I actually feel bad because I believe that he had a moral win here because he was very competent of getting resources, but he wasn't spending well. So that was a reaction. There was probably many things that Gonzo was doing that could finish off the game, but I could capitalize on the small things that I had, and with this I could advance, push forward. And he did not have enough time or even the attention to use these resources. He could simply build a bunch of castles, and that would put a lot of trouble on me. He could put on stalemate the game, maybe run to the back, try to get resources, try to use the bank, try to explore more trash units. He certainly would have a chance, but here we can see what happens. And that's a very, very common problem in the beginning, when you don't use your resources. So don't let your resources rot in the bank. This guy had his victory in hand, he played very well, GG. And me, I try my best to react and try to use the best of my civilization. So my reading of the game and where it was heading was very good, and I knew that a victory was very unlikely. I tried my best, I tried to get the best of my engagements, and with the limited abilities that I got, I could get a very well economy by the ending. At this point, I had the dominant position. It would be very hard. Romans are very, very strong right now. They are a battering run civilization, if I'm not mistaken. Let me check. So yeah, that would be very appropriate. I would invest more into infantry and also in cavalry line. So the battering runs upgraded along with better cavalry in the Imperial Age, and also the Legionnaire would eventually be too much for him, I believe. But at the same time, he had chances if he had paid a little bit of extra attention. So that's to show that a very common mistake that I see other guys playing it. And some guys are even a little bit higher in ELO than me. I consider myself 1000 currently. They do this mistake very often, so pay attention and don't let your resources rot in the bank. Always try to spend your things and always try to use your resources, and don't be afraid of abusing the market. This is not what you want to happen, because you can lose games that are won with that. So that's it for today. I hope that you enjoyed. I appreciate Gonzo for the great match. And that's it. It's a good lesson that I want to really to share with very beginners of the Age of Empires 2 community. Thanks for watching. Please guys, like, subscribe if this video was good, and I see you next time.